Novie kan termasuk orang yang pintar gitu, pintar banget bahkan. Artinya ya lulus cum laude lewat lagi, terbaik, lulus cepat segala macam. Kadang-kadang kami menduga begini, untuk orang sepintar itu kadang-kadang justru masalah. You know why? Because sometimes a smart person cannot really understand how somebody cannot understand something. You got my point?
Yeah,
So
I got
it
your
is
point.
not very easy for us very smart people to explain in a layman language. How do you
Right.
see it? Do you have that kind of issue or similar issue?
So yeah, actually, I don't actually consider myself to be smart. I'm not saying this to be humble. I'm
Okay.
just really being honest. I'm not a smart person. I would like to consider myself as a very hardworking person. Yeah, because sometimes there's like a quote, there's like a saying that says hard work beats talent, and that's why I would like to say that I'm actually hardworking rather than being rather than like a smart person. But sometimes people might view me as like because they know that for example, they know that my GPA is really high, and then they think that, oh, my opinion won't matter to her. I don't think that's right, because everyone's opinion matters, especially in our culture. We always use GPA, IPK, as like a benchmark to say that, oh, this person is smart, this person is not smart. I think it's wrong. For example, in my batch, in my at least my class, there are a lot of people who have like low GPA, but they are really like the smartest people I know. They're really good at surveying, and that's why I always try to respect their opinions when, for example, I'm doing like projects with them. I always respect their opinions, because even though I might have like higher GPA than them, it doesn't mean that I'm actually smarter than them, because they might have like they might know more things than I do. Yeah, and so for those smart people who have like high GPAs, my message is like, don't look down on people who might have like low GPA, because they might have like more experiences than us. They might know things more than us, like know more stuff than us. So yeah, let's just respect each other's opinion. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Novie. I think I really like this view. Talking about hardworking working people, I really second your opinion, because I know you're really a hardworking person. If you at least two things that I can tell you the story, you might not remember this. When you came to my house, if you remember, you're my assistant back then. We spent like hours and hours at home to talk about those matematika geodesi. Remember?
Yeah.
Really struggled, if I may say, to find something to understand. And then through a very long discussion, all from me, from Rido, was it Rido? Rido at the time?
It was Rido, yeah.
And then I really remember, and then when there was a eureka moment for you, I thought like, aha, you remember that one?
Yeah.
The
I think
angle and
it
all
was
those.
like calculus or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a mathematica geodesi. When I gave you a clue, even though to be honest with you, I didn't really understand that much, but I just managed to be able to see it from a slightly different angle. And when I say things to you, and then you pick it up, and then this is the one, So to be honest with you, I didn't really consider that as a very smart or genius kind of act. You just worked that hard. You paid attention to that problems. You stay there. You spend your time, and you didn't give up. That's what I see. That first. The second one is when you do the kemah kerja.
Oh yeah, those
You're
were
very
hard.
hardworking a team member. I really admired. Being a lady with a fair skin like you, and then when I saw you on the second week or so, whoa, Novie became someone really different. You look so different. Your skin burned, which means that you really work hard.
Yeah,
right?
those 2 weeks are like, I think those 2 weeks were like one of like the hardest weeks I've ever experienced in my life. But I was so thankful for that. It was a good experience. Yeah, everyone was very hardworking. You get to see people who, like you get like a new point of view of like people who was always so quiet in class. Then you saw them being so hardworking. Yeah, it's just a very fun week. Fun 2 weeks. Yeah.
I remember back then when I was a student too. Novi, I was not very
Mm.
lucky. There was no kemah kerja in my time, which I didn't know
Oh.
why. And then when my kakak tingkat said to me, "Oh, kemah kerja is really good because during kemah kerja, that is the what do you call it? A revealing moment. So
Yeah.
people will reveal their true character.
Yeah.
If you see very nice people in a day-to-day basis in the class, you might get fooled, because in the
Yeah.
camera, you might see someone different. I didn't really understand what they meant by the time, but then when I was involved in camera kerja, I think, oh, this is really true. That very stressful 2 weeks can really
Yeah.
reveal who you are, right? And then
Yeah. Yeah. I get like only like 4 hours of sleep every night because I was like drawing the maps, the manual map, and then so much pressure, and your body is tired, and it just shows who you really are. And
exactly.
I think those 2 weeks it gives me a huge experience as a student. Like right now, nothing is like too big for me, to be honest. So, yeah,
I'm
do you get what I mean? Like,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. It is like maybe not comparable, but I think somehow this is just a different perspective about PhD, for example. People
Mm.
who gone through the PhD, they usually
Mm-hmm.
say this. Well, I've taken care of this. I mean, I've done my PhD, meaning that now I'm not afraid of anything. Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But in kerja is, in terms of field work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Novi, people know that in general, your GPA is good, your English is very good, so people might think this, ya kalau Novi sih emang IP-nya tinggi sih, bahasa Inggris juga bagus, ya wajar lah dia bisa dapat kerjaan bagus. And then, what is your message to your friend who might not be like in terms of GPA or English, or you have any story to that?
Right. So, I think I've got into like a lot of interviews before I landed a job in Gojek, and most of the interviews they don't actually ask you what your GPA is. Even until now, when I'm working, no, none of my coworkers have ever asked me like, what's your GPA when you were like a student. So I think that having a high GPA is good. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing.
Right.
But let's just not focus too much on like GPA, because like what I've said before, GPA actually doesn't it's not a good benchmark to actually measure your knowledge, the amount of knowledge you have.
At least not
And
always.
yeah, I mean, you can focus on like getting like a good GPA. Like a good enough GPA is enough to for like a recruiters to like a bat an eye on your resume. Because having like too low of a GPA is also not a good thing in terms of like the administration process in like getting a job.
Okay.
So having a good enough GPA is also really good enough. And what I think what makes me stand out is because I have lots of like I was involved in a lot of like projects. Like a lot of like lecturers asked me to and I think those like being involved in a lot of projects, being like
all right,
those things that those are the things that really matter when they look at my resume. Like so it's not the GPA. I can tell you for sure it's not the GPA.
Thank you very much. So
Yeah.
you have to basically do your best to find other opportunities, basically, right?
Yeah.
For you to develop yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it right? Beyond academic.
Yeah,
right.
beyond academic. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's a very good point. Thank you, Novi.